October 22, 2016 was the very first time I did ring announcing at some capacity. It was for an event called Fight Club 2016 for World Kickboxing Federation Philippines, a group that I myself belong to.
Now, World Kickboxing Federation Philippines presents Fight Club 2016 National Light Kickboxing Championship.
They had me as a ring announcer because I'm kinda okay at talking, and well, I did pretty well. And during the event, there were a couple of guys there who were from this thing called Manila Wrestling Federation.
Is someone going to stop this?
And they saw me announce and thought that, you know, I did a fairly decent job, I guess, because 2 weeks before their very first event, Manila Wrestling Federation requested that I be their ring announcer. So I did. The time I got to the first event, there were a lot of jitters, there were a lot of things that I could have done better, but overall I did okay, I guess. There's a lot of room for improvement. There was a 2-month gap in between the first event and the second event, so I had a lot of time to mull over things, but I think I didn't learn that much with the first event and learned a lot more in the second event, M.W.F. Republika, which as of this recording happened around a few days ago. Looking back in hindsight, I thought that, you know what, I may have gotten ahead of myself. Not only was I writing a promo, but I was also planning to bring my camera, my microphones, a lot of other stuff so that I can record the matches and commentate in them. But in the middle of the event itself, I kinda got jitters, and it was only until the second half of the event when I decided, you know what, I'll whip out the camera and just do it. And turned out it was actually pretty easy. Now the promo, yeah, the introduction I did to open MWF Republika, it got a good bit of talk, and I guess I did it for that particular reason, and also because it was a challenge. After the first event, I was asked if I wanted to do a promo on the next event, because in the first event I wasn't able to properly introduce myself. I just did my job as a ring announcer. I got home from the event and then sat down right here in front of my computer and wrote a draft of what would become my promo 2 months before the second event. I kid you not, the very first things that came out of my head was, this microphone is not a pipe bomb, because, you know, CM Punk. And then the following words came to my head, and that was the very first line that I ever wrote in that draft. This microphone is not a pipe bomb. In my hands, this is a magic wand that opens a portal to this Narnia, this Camelot, this Valhalla, the hallowed ground that is our squared circle, where you shall witness magic and madness. Yeah, I still have those words to heart because I had 2 whole months to take to heart that the first half of the promo that I did in MWF Republika. The second half I only had a week, and that came out really badly. That's why it was really long. I was taking a lot of pauses. That was because a week before the event itself, I went to the training session and to get the card and do the preparations for the event itself. I was asked to do the promo for like 3 to 4 minutes. They were gonna give me like up to 5 minutes. I was like, the initial promo I wrote was around 220 words. That would take me around 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. So I thought, you know what, I have to fill in a few more minutes. My favorite part here is we here at Manila Wrestling Federation are celebrating our Independence Day with the only way we know how. The best way we know how. The way of warriors. Wrestling. I was trying to promote the promotion itself. I was trying to promote MWF. The first half is just so that, you know, I can properly introduce myself because, you know, I'm now a part of the company and, well, I might as well let myself be known. And that's about it. I did the promo for Challenge just because it was a challenge. It was something to do. And I wouldn't be doing it again. I'm not cutting any more promos. Come on. I'm the ring announcer. Oh, am I supposed to cut promos? Come on. I'm not a manager. I'm not a, you know, yeah. Now the first 3 matches. My favorite out of all of them has to be Moises Liwanag versus Frankie 13 because, well, you know, the ending was pretty cool with Moises Liwanag breaking Frankie 13's back like Bane did to Batman. That was pretty cool. Now, Aldrin Richards versus Fabio Makisig. You may, for those who have watched the event itself live, you may have recalled that I announced Fabio Makisig first. And then Aldrin Richards came out and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Who is this guy? Like, I'm shuffling my cards, you know. That kinda is intentional, sort of, because, well, Aldrin Richards was supposed to be already in the ring, and I'll just announce him, you know, because, well, he's kind of a jobber character. And then Fabio Makisig comes out, you know, taking his sweet time, as always. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to hype him up at all. I was like, you know, from Quezon City, weighing 175 pounds, Aldrin Richards. Like, you know, a jobber. But yeah, that was intentional. That was a work, sort of. The biggest screw up I did in the event. Morgan Vaughn versus Hanzelo Silva. When I was given the card, you know, the matches in the week before, it was Hanzelo Silva versus Morgan Vaughn. Hanzelo Silva was first. So I put that in my card. I forgot to clarify before the event started who was coming out first. And also cues and whatnot, because apparently what they were doing was I would introduce them and then they would come out. You should come out, and then as you come out to the music, then I announce you so that I know who you are. I'll be beating myself up over this for weeks. Trust me. It doesn't matter if it's okay or not. The things that I can do to improve my announcing for the next event in September, well, I can clean up my syntax. Some people are saying no one calls a one-on-one match a singles match or whatever. I've heard it before. Come on. Some people do it. Yeah, and also, you know, the time limit on the last event, on the main event, it was supposed to be 30 minutes. I just forgot to put in 30 minutes. Again, it's me fucking up my homework. But yeah, I should clarify before the event starts on the order. Now the commentating. Yeah, I did it out of a whim. I brought in the camera that I'm recording this vlog in right now. And it turned out fairly well, actually. I was pretty satisfied. Like, when I got into recording the matches and then talking over them, I started to get comfortable with it. I'm still beating myself up over being reluctant to take out this camera. I guess it was because, you know, I hadn't done it yet in an MWF event, and I'm always afraid of getting this camera stolen or broken or whatnot, because this is the only good camera I have. But now, since I actually came out with those 3 videos, I may do more of them, and I'll have to practice commentary during the 3 months between now and the September event. Yeah, I'll have to do a lot of practice. Because I watched the videos with my commentary on them, and yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement. There's a lot of oohs and ahs. My own critique on my commentary, yeah, I was doing a lot of ooh. Well, I'm watching the match as a fan, but you know, if I want to be anywhere near Jim Ross's level, well, I should clean up my commentary. I should get rid of a lot of the and also I tend to not know the names of some of the moves. Now, my knowledge of wrestling moves is, well, it's okay, but it's not perfect. There are some moves that commentary in combat sports and pro wrestling is a constant practice of interrupting your own train of thought. It's constant self-interruption. Like, you know, this competitor, he has to do this, and oh wait, he's about to throw him into a power bomb. Yeah, that kind of bothers me a lot because I'm not very quick on my feet. I work better off with scripts and, you know, just an ordered outline of what I have to say, but on the fly, I'm not very good. So yeah, I have to work on that. I have to work on my pacing and a lot of the minor details of my commentary. If I'm gonna do commentary at all, I don't know. I'm announcing and doing commentary, my throat's gonna be super dry like the Atacama Desert. Also, aside from ring announcing and recording matches while commentating on them, I was also ringing this bell. Yeah, I brought in a real bell because in the first event, they used a sound file. You know, they used a sound clip, which sounded like shit. So I brought this in. I bought this in Raon. I'm near Raon. I live in Recto. So yeah, and I have a hammer, and you know, sounds pretty cool actually. Although, yeah, this is a fire alarm bell. Also, during the event, I noticed that this bolt right here, because I had to unscrew it to take out the electric ringer thing. I hadn't screwed it back in properly, so it was actually loose during the event. So it must have affected the acoustics on this thing because it wasn't as loud as I wanted it to be. Now that I have actually screwed it in tightly, it sounds great now. Yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of things that I could do with this. I'm thinking, put a piece of wood here and then screw it in or nail it in so that it has a base, because if you put this on the table and you strike it, it moves across the table. I got a sense that people enjoyed this event a lot more, especially with that aftermath. That was actually pretty cool. Perhaps what I enjoyed most in these events is the camaraderie among both the organizers and the wrestlers and the fans, because everyone is there to watch a good show, to experience a good pro wrestling show. And that kind of camaraderie is something I'm definitely not used to. I barely get out of this house. I barely do. Like in my dingy room, yeah. This place. As you can see, this is a backdrop. This is a folding divider that I bought off a furniture store. So I have some pretty bad social anxiety. And that's why I agreed to do ring announcing for Manila Wrestling Federation, because it's me addressing my social anxiety by fighting it. Also, the reason why I did the promo, because it was a challenge. I have to directly fight against my fear of talking in front of people. Now mind you, I don't mind crowds. I don't mind public speaking as much as I do with talking to individuals. So yeah, well, after the event, I ate some ramen. Then once I got back home, I was super tired, but I had to offload the footage off my camera. If you haven't watched the videos of the matches yet, they're here in my YouTube channel. Just, look around. Other than that, I'm done with this vlog. Thank you for watching. Stay Tor.